Hello and welcome to the final Viking women's basketball with Karlie Burris of the season. It's been fast, Coach.
It's been really fast, but great.
Nice. We're heading into the final homestand of the year. Montana State Thursday, Montana Saturday. Coach, let's get started. A couple losses last week, but some improvements that we can shout out. One being the offense. You had 4 in double figures on Saturday for the third time in February. Didn't have that at all in January. So, and then 78 points too in regulation, tied the conference season high. So there's definitely been movement in the positive direction on the offensive side of the ball for sure.
Sure. I think Idaho's the best team in our league for a reason. They just have weapons at every position. And so I thought we did a decent job early. And then late in the second, I thought we let a few possessions get away from us. And then at that point, you're kind of just crawling back. But it's really nice. We've talked about it all year. We need to give Kylie some help. And obviously, Hannah stepped up a number of times. And I feel like Cece's kind of hitting her stride a little bit. So it's been nice to see her production. But when we're able to move the ball and execute our offense, good things happen on the offensive end.
Nice. And, one thing that in the Eastern game on Saturday, you guys outshot the Eagles, which actually an interesting stat is you've outshot 7 of your 15 Big Sky opponents. Unfortunately, you're only 2-5 in those 7 games, which I feel like tells you that either teams are earning more possessions or scoring more points per possession with like an advantage from 3-point range.
Sure.
I guess what's your reaction to that? And then like maybe what can we do to improve to win those games?
Yeah, we're still continuing to take care of the basketball. I mean, it's a huge point of emphasis as I took over, and it still is. And I still feel like we're trying to get better at that. I thought we did a better job rebounding against Eastern Washington, even though they're one of the best. And same with Idaho. I thought we tried just because, right, the more they're rebounding, the more possessions they get. But I thought Eastern capitalized off their second chance points or the times we did turn the ball over. So again, those are 2 areas that we're really looking at. And then knowing some of the coaches, they're trying to not put us on the free throw line, some different things, and just, that had been something we'd been good at. So now that's, how we're getting scouted is make them make tough shots, don't put them on the foul line. But really for us, it's taking care of the ball and rebounding so we can have more possessions.
And one thing that almost the opponent field goal percentage is more important than our field goal percentage, because actually all 6 wins this year have come when we've held the opponent under 40%. So I guess like what still needs to be finalized, I guess, on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, again, it's huge. Like I said, Idaho, it's a little more difficult. We tried to slow down their point guard a little bit just because they play at such a fast pace. And it was like a tale of 2 games. The first game, they lit us up from 3. In the second game, it was points in the paint. So again, I think every opponent kind of has its own challenge. But for us, we want to make them take tough shots and just limit them to 1 shot. And again, we can talk about Montana State coming up, but for that, it's going to be about us taking care of the ball security, and us take quality shots, right? They want the opponents to play at their pace, but for us, it's going to be us taking care of the ball and taking a quality shot. So again, that's going to be important to us.
Nice. And before we get into that Montana State preview, let's Saturday will be senior day, so let's take a moment to acknowledge the 5 seniors that we'll be honoring.
Sure.
I'll ask you each one, but maybe we'll start with Alani Encinas, the 4-year player here.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about Lonnie. Just the perfect teammate, truly. She's on the bench. She's a talker. She's a leader. So coachable, does everything we ask her to do, comes with a smile on her face. And sure, she probably doesn't see. I mean, she was starting at the beginning of the year, if we can think back that far, just because I thought she earned it in terms of listening to the coaching, taking it, and being a really good teammate. So I'm so happy she stuck out her 4 years here and that we got to end with her. And she's going to earn her degree. So can't say enough good things about her and excited for what she does next.
Nice. And then next up, let's talk about Jamia Carter, 2-year player here, has gotten some starts, also overcame an injury to come back this year, which is great. So.
Yeah. Jamia has been huge, right? I think her coming back from her injury took a little longer than her and us kind of expected or wanted. But she was impactful even off of the court. Has such a big voice in the locker room, and which matters, even when she wasn't playing. And I'm still think we're trying to find her time because she has such a big impact. We've seen she can get to the free throw line and kind of create for herself. But Jamia has been great. Like I said, her voice, her leadership. We were really lucky to have her this year and excited for how she can finish out the remainder of the year.
Nice. And then, let's talk about Ajay Yokum, a starter this year. Returned home to play her final year here.
Yeah.
What can you say about Ajay?
Yeah, Ajay's a real treat. I mean, the only player I brought in this year on the roster, and we have a great relationship. I think we understand each other. Obviously, she's been at a handful of other schools, but I don't think you can say enough about finishing in your hometown, just from, the outreach with the community, some various different things. But, she's had to take on a leadership role as well, and has a big voice. So really happy that she decided to finish her last year here at Portland State.
All right, and let's pick up with Taylor Moffitt, a 2-year player, also overcame an injury to be a big impact here as a starter.
Yeah, Taylor's great. I mean, goes 100% with everything. She was recovering from the ACL and gave 100% to the rehab and recovery. Another player who's extremely coachable, has a great voice inside the locker room and on the court, and has just done everything we've asked, and she was very adamant about once she was able to get back, she would prove to us, which she did really quickly. So we're really happy to have Taylor, always wants to know the why behind why we're doing something, which I love. Very cerebral player, and has been able to stretch the floor for us, do some ball handling for us as well. So really happy with Taylor. Great person, great player, and also excited for what she does next.
Nice.
Yeah.
And let's close out with CC Ellington. A teammate of Ajay in high school, won a state title over Cameron Brink in the state title game.
Yeah.
And then, really recently, I feel like has returned to what she was before the injuries, before she got here. Especially like shot 72% between both games last weekend. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. I remember CC from high school. So again, having the ability to coach her, I think people have learned her story a little bit just with the way we're trying to get her this last year and fighting for her. And I think she finally feels like she has a staff who's fighting for her and going to bat for her. But really, I think that's just freed her up these last few games. At the tail end of conference here is she's been able to be her. And when she plays with freedom, you can tell she can score at a really high clip. So again, and the story with Ajay and her is just really cool. CC texted me actually about Ajay, and that's kind of how Ajay first got on my radar. But really cool to see them in their career together where, they won a state championship together. But again, playing in front of her hometown, I think is really, really cool. So really happy with how she's going to finish out. And we're grateful that she had her last year here with us.
Nice. All right. Well, that'll be Saturday before the game. So to come early to make sure you see the senior day ceremony. But let's talk about actual basketball now.
Sure.
Thursday, Montana State comes in. Obviously a juggernaut within the Big Sky Conference. I'm sure you guys are eager to have a better showing than last time against them. But, they are a juggernaut. They force over 10 or the turnover margin is over 10 a game in their favor. And then, they have a mid-major player of the year watch list member in Taylor Shirix, who's just a dominant player.
Yeah.
What do you see from them?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Taylor, I recruited her when I was at UNLV. Really liked her because she played with a point guard who's now at UNLV and Tegan Colvin. But just an all-around great player. I would argue she has the highest motor in the country. She never stops. Obviously, I think her having that track background helps. But she truly is their engine. And really, 1 through 5, they're long across the board. They're going to be switching. They're going to be pressing. And yeah, we are very eager to have a much better performance than we did when we were at Montana State. Which again, I think is an opportunity for us. And, we've talked about the turnovers and all that different stuff, but this is a game we want to play to show that we have improved since then. And we'll have a different game plan going into this one on Thursday. But we're eager to show that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's get into Saturday. Then Montana, the Lady Rickers come in. That was a game that really probably felt like you could have had in Missoula earlier the year. Had a lead in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, went cold at the worst time. But a strong 3-point shooting team in the Lady Grizz. I'm sure that's going to be something you need to stop.
Yeah, again, I think maybe we were too hyper fixated on that the first time around, which we did a great job, right? Held them to season lows from the 3-point line, but Avery just was able to go off on us. They look a little different with Mac back, Koenig. So again, we'll probably tweak our game plan a little bit for that game, but for sure that one hurt. I thought it was a game we let slip away. It would have been huge, obviously, to win at Montana, which is just a great, obviously, storied program with Robin, leading them to so many championships. But again, another game we're really eager to face and have a little bit of a different approach. And yeah, so we're excited about both of these. It's a big weekend for us this week.
Nice. Well, there it is. So it's Thursday, 7 p.m. against Montana State. Saturday, 2 p.m. against Montana. Again, come early so you can see the senior day ceremony before Saturday. And then Monday, road game at Weber State to close out the regular season. So for tickets and all other information, visit govikes.com.